Hello, this is such a random video. I want to build this Lego. It's actually for a video I'm creating. I'm not sponsored by Lego, by the way. That's not what this is. So I thought I could build it and talk to you guys. Oh, look at that. It's been a while since I've done Lego. I used to be obsessed with Lego as a kid. First of all, thank you everyone who sent me questions. I split the questions you all sent me in 4 categories. The first one is about marine biology in general. The second one is about my work and what I'm doing. The third one is about ocean. I think there's only a couple of questions. And finally, I will talk about like just random, more personal opinion questions people have for me. So let's do this. I'm terrible at multitasking, so I don't know why I thought this was gonna work, but we will try. Oh yeah, and the Lego I'm building is this underwater, it's an underwater with boat sort of thing. Well, that's easy. First we start with the little man. Okay, we are already missing a head. Dude, where'd your head go? Found it. Crisis averted. First question. This person asked, what is marine biology? I'm interested in marine life. What does marine biology cover? Is it how organisms work, or much more? Marine biology just means the study of biological life. And within that, there's so many fields. The more we learn about the world, biological systems in this case, the more specialized biologists become. You can focus your whole life just studying a specific aspect of marine life, or specialize in a particular type of animals, or a specific taxa. It's a really broad term. And within marine biology, anything that is about studying marine life, you will find it within this major umbrella term.
As I'm editing this video and witnessing myself struggle to build coherent English sentences, I decided, just out of curiosity, to look for open PhD positions. Here are a couple of them that I just found on a random website. Reconciling phylogeography and species boundaries in cnidarians. Study on the physiology of a marine microalgae in symbiosis. Coral reef transformations under rapid environmental change. Marine microbial environmental genomics. Determining the dietary accumulation and toxicity of nanoplastics and nanomaterials in fish. Alright, I think you get the point. These are all PhD positions you can theoretically apply to if you have a degree in marine biology. When I say that marine biology has become specialized, not only marine biology, just science in general has become very specialized, this is what I mean.
Second, what universities and colleges do you think are best for marine biology in Europe? I have a video that I made many years ago about which universities you should choose. I will link it here somewhere. You can check it out. It's one of my old videos, so please ignore the quality. Okay, we got our first diver. Yeah, diver ready to go. Oh, it's not done. Oh, he's a photographer. Oh, cool. We got a... More important than your grades or which uni you go to is your experience and the people you know. So what I always tell people when they ask me this question is, if you want to go into research, if you are studying marine biology because you want to go into research, try to understand, okay, yay, cool, take photo, there you go. Try to understand what is that you would like to work on in the future. You should search for a university that has research on something you see yourself working on in the future, because that will give you the opportunity to maybe already start working in that field while you are still studying and gain some advantage for the future, for when you are applying for, who knows, a PhD or a job on that particular subject. Someone asked me about the need of research for mathematics, like how much in marine research essentially boils down to statistics. Well, everything boils down to statistics. Okay, maybe not everything, but a lot. Oceanography is a holistic field, and we need people from all backgrounds to understand the complex system that is the ocean. Physicists, mathematicians, biochemists. I know someone, for example, they were looking for someone with a mathematical background to study whale vocalizations. As a mathematician, you can work with the ocean. Oh, and yes, a lot of marine biology nowadays is working with big databases and being able to make sense of them. There are a lot of statistics involved and mathematics and programming. It's an all-encompassing field nowadays because of this large amount of data that developing technology has allowed us to collect. What do you need, like skills, to become a marine biologist? Skills is something you develop with practice. And going back to my previous point, the most important thing you can do to get ahead and to help your chances to... Okay, so we got one done. We've got the photographer and we got the sub. Perfect. Okay. You know, volunteer in your local aquarium, participate in beach cleanups. These are also great opportunities to meet other people that you might identify with. You'll end up having fun also just because you're meeting people and getting to learn about the field. And yes, more important than anything is to gain experience. And if you can start gaining experience in the field that you would see yourself working in the future, even better, because the marine biology has become very specialized. And if you have experience in that, what it is you want to specialize in, even better. I think I made sense. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to edit this and I'm going to look back and think, Maria, this was a bad idea. I applied for a marine science degree at All University and I hope to get selected. The problem is that I have type 2 bipolar and I'm afraid to mess up. Any tips to make things less complicated and difficult and go without losing my focus? I don't know much about bipolar. So I don't know what kind of practical tips would help you in keeping focus in that particular case. However, I can give you a more general advice maybe on something that I think would help maybe not only you, but a lot of people. And that is, look back at your experience. So if you're applying now to uni, means you were in high school just now, and try to understand what is your best learning method. There are different ways in which people learn. And some people are better at learning one way than the other. Unfortunately, schools are not generally great at tapping into different learning styles. They typically favor people who learn well by listening to someone speak and people good at learning through reading and writing. And sometimes also people with good mathematical and logical learning abilities, depending on the subject. This means many people have never tried other learning methods beyond those in school. And I think it's worth exploring. Try and understand, and looking back at your own experience, what is the best way? How do you learn the best? And I think if you figure that out, it can really, really help you once you get to, you know, uni or further on down the line in your studies to, you know, maximize your potential. I would say that if you want more concrete advice on your specific situation, maybe talk to a professional, someone who has, you know, more experience with someone in your situation. But the best of luck, and I really hope you get into the university you want and into the degree you want. The best of luck for you. The next category, my work. Wild World, go check out his channel, it's great. He said, my editing and animation skills are great in my videos. If I have any tips for other creators. Also, I think your Deep Sea Friends series is very cool. Thank you very much. And do I have plans for any more books in this series? And do you think you'll ever write a marine biology book for adults? There are 3 questions there. Let's start with the first one. First of all, thank you very much. I don't think my editing skills are amazing. I just spend a lot of time editing. However, in the last video and the Plastic Island video, I hired someone to do the animations for me. Any tips for other creators? I'm the worst person to give tips to other creators because if you look at my track record of publishing videos, it's very inconsistent. I'd say just practice, really. Practice. I missed a couple of pieces here. If you're thinking of starting something, starting a YouTube channel, just go for it. Just do it. The advice I have to myself is it will never be good enough because I always think, that's why sometimes it takes me so long to put out a video because I never think that the video is good enough to be published. So I keep delaying it. And sometimes I just tweak really small things that no one but me will ever notice. So that's not great. especially if you really want to be consistent and publish often. Don't be a perfectionist like me. And in terms of editing, it really is just about practice. My Deep Sea Friends collection. Okay, I'm gonna take this opportunity to show you what this is. Me together with an illustrator friend of mine, we are creating this series. It's a deep sea animal collection. Each book has a different main character, but they all meet. In the end, they're gonna be 4 main characters that will then go on adventures in the deep sea. Right now, these are the introductory books to each of the characters. There are 2 at the moment, Lila's Big Sky and Orly the Grumpy Oarfish. Thank you so much, Wild World, for giving me the opportunity to talk about these books. I think more people need to learn about how awesome the deep sea animals are. So I just thought this was a fun, cool idea to work on with a friend. But yeah, we are planning on creating more books in the series. And if I ever want to write a marine biology book for adults, we will see. It's not something I'm working on at the moment, but who knows? I like writing. I like communicating what I know to people. So of course it's not off the table, but it's not something I'm at least now actively working on. I got a lot of questions about research and what I'm doing. I want to set the record straight. It sounded very menacing. I am at the moment a full-time freelance science communicator. I'm not employed as a researcher or in academia. I am hired by research projects to do their outreach. Besides what I do here on YouTube, which is also considered it's a type of science communication, I also work with, for example, a marine forest restoration project, research project, trying to talk to different target audiences about the importance of marine conservation and marine forest restoration. I am not doing research actively anymore. And this was a choice I made after I finished my PhD. It was not an easy one because I love research. I love developing research projects, and I love almost every step of doing research. However, there is a huge lack of people who know both science and do communication, because science communication is a lot of work. I tried doing science communication while working as a researcher, and it was tough. I had no life when I was doing that, because science communication is a full job, researcher is a full job. A full-time job. That's why I cannot tell you about what I'm doing on research, because I'm not doing research. Right now I'm not doing it. I don't know if I'll do it ever again. Yeah, I'm not close to that possibility. This is a good segue to the next question that says, have you thought about other ways to spread science communication besides this platform? And I guess this platform is YouTube. Yeah, I don't only do science communication on YouTube. I work for various projects. I was working for the United Nations at the beginning of the year for some months. I'm working in this project I was talking to you about in marine restoration. I'm also writing and creating content for a platform on food journalism called Food Unfolded. I actually recommend you check them out. They are great. They have a website, but they also have a relatively popular Instagram page where I will sometimes appear, and I continue doing my stuff as well. And then I have other projects that I'm working on. I'm just realizing I missed something here. Wait, something's not right. I was wondering, okay, no, never mind. Yeah, no, it's all good. Oh, this is so much fun. I forgot how fun it is to build Lego. So yeah, I'm not only working here on YouTube. I'm kind of spreading my roots into different communication fields. This also answers the next question, is if I work for a magazine like National Geographic or Scientific American. I do not work for any of those two, but I do write blog posts occasionally for different outlets. I write for this Food Unfolded platform fairly regularly. I write for this Restore Seas project. I mean, I am running the whole Restore Seas website. If you're interested, I will leave the link down below. I like writing. It's fun. I'm confused. My brain is exploding. I don't know if you understand the effort that it is for me to build this and talk at the same time. Someone asked, have you ever thought about making a documentary style video about various sea creatures? Yes, of course. The problem, you know, sometimes with videos is finding copyright free footage that I can use. Ideally, I would go and film them. It involves time and involves money. And because I'm working for other projects too, time is not always available. And money, depending on, because freelancer, there's one thing about freelancing is that you have because you work for different projects, sometimes you work for a 3-month project, sometimes a year projects, your income, it varies a lot between months. So sometimes you can afford going on trips to film something, sometimes you can't. So that's also an aspect to take in consideration when I decide to film stuff. Yeah, so definitely, I'm definitely in for making documentaries about cool animals. I would love to do that. Absolutely. Someone asked me what kind of companies, institutions hire science communicators. Science communication is a relatively new profession. In the past, unless you were like David Attenborough or Carl Sagan, science communication was done either by scientists who took a little bit of their time to talk about science, or by journalists who understood a little bit of science and did some communication here and there. Sometimes people hire science communicators under another name. For example, a writer can be a science communicator. A videographer is a science communicator if what they are making videos about is science. A writer, the same thing. A speaker, someone who organizes workshops or events and interacts with, for example, local communities. So science communication is just a broad term that encompasses a bunch of different possible professions. Is anyone who communicates, who tries to bridge the knowledge gap and the communication gap between scientific information and non-scientific information. Universities have communication departments. Pretty much any institution that does any kind of work that requires communicating science to other people has people working in science communication. How much money do I get paid as a marine biologist? Well, another one of those questions that I don't have a satisfying answer for, because it highly depends where you work. Depends on the country you work at, depends on the field you work in, depends if you work in academia, do you work in an NGO, for the government. The salaries vary so much. There are countries in which you are really poorly paid as a researcher. There are countries in which you are really well paid as a researcher. You won't become rich if that's what you want, then that's not the profession for you. However, there are countries where you can have a pretty decent income as a researcher. Others, not so much. In relation to the conservation of fauna and flora of the ocean, you can say, are we heading towards more conservation, less conservation? Also, besides the consequence of microplastic, and what are other consequences of microplastics? For that last question, I will refer to my latest video where I talk about the problematic aspects of microplastic. For the first question, I do hope we are going towards a world where with more conservation. I mean, the world needs more conservation. If we're talking about what the world needs, if we want to have food in the future, if we want to have healthy air to breathe, half of the oxygen we breathe, more than half, comes from the ocean. If we want a healthy, sustainable future, we need more conservation. We need more legislation on that front. Whether that's where we are headed, I'm generally optimistic. I hope so. People are realizing the importance of finding ways to preserve the ocean, not only for the benefit of the ocean and of the animals and the organisms that live there, but for our own benefit as well. And I'm hoping that that will be translated into policies coming in the future. Okay, wait a second. Cool, look at that. Ready to go sampling. Do you feel that ocean and space exploration can exist? Absolutely. And which one is more important? Ocean exploration. And I'm not saying this just because I'm biased, which I am, but also from a rational, logical perspective, we are far away from being able to, survive in space. And we need more time on this earth. And if we don't understand our oceans and take action now to make sure they still exist healthily in the future, I know that's not a word, but let's pretend it is, to live healthy in this planet, then there won't be space exploration because we will all be dead. Well, that turned bleak. Well, I think we should aim for the stars, and I think we should definitely continue exploring both. In terms of urgency, right now we really need to understand the Earth we live in. Ooh, I think this is supposed to be like a lab bench, and she's like working in the back of the ship. Finished yet the second piece. Can you talk about the dark oxygen? Go check my latest reel on Instagram, or one of the reels on Instagram, where I talk about it. Yeah, basically, it seems like those nodules that people want to mine in the deep sea can produce oxygen. Previously, it was thought that only living creatures could produce oxygen, but that might not actually be the case. All right, now we're going into the personal category. If you are still here, welcome. Thank you, congratulations. I don't know what celebratory term to use. Anyways, let's continue. Single, no, married. Most amazing thing I've ever seen as a marine biologist. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a bunch of really cool stuff underwater while diving, not necessarily while I was doing research, actually just recreational diving, like manta rays, amazing microfauna, a bunch of turtles. I went on a cruise once, 5-week cruise from New Zealand to Alaska. That was pretty dope. It was not one thing I saw, but it was the whole experience, which was really cool. Like, honestly, I am pretty privileged in terms of cool experiences, but I cannot choose one. Everything is cool. What's your everyday life integrating your YouTube channel? That's a great question. Well, right now I'm building, oh, turtle and baby turtle. Oh, baby turtle. Let's go, animals. Okay. It depends on what other work I'm doing at the moment. If I have a lot of work, sometimes, unfortunately, I cannot do YouTube some days. Sometimes I do a full day of YouTube if there's nothing else going on. I'm really inconsistent. My work is very variable. Sometimes I have a lot of work on a lot of other things that I need to do and I have no time for YouTube. Sometimes I don't, and I have a lot of time for YouTube. Lately, I haven't had a lot of time for YouTube. No good answer for that because it depends on the week, month, and year. How was the move to Italy? How has your daily life changed since then? My move to Italy was good. Moving is always stressful. Let me tell you people, Italian bureaucracy, it tests your patience to the limit. But you know what? I done it, I did it, and it's done. And yeah, besides that, I really like Italy. I've been to Italy many times. I mean, I was living in Austria before, which is bordering Italy to the north. So we used to come here very often on holidays. I like the Italian vibes a lot. Very more similar to Portuguese vibes than Austria is. So it's been a pleasant experience. I've got to meet some cool people already. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it quite a lot. Wait a second. I need to think now. Do you have a favorite prehistoric sea creature? I love the Plesiosaurus. I just love it. Do you think you will do a playthrough of the underwater survival horror game Full Phantom? If you haven't, I have a second channel that I started to continue on playing video games, but I just haven't had any time. I started Horizon Zero Dawn, which I haven't finished yet. Between work, YouTube, creating videos, I just don't have any time to play video games lately. I have a bunch of them on my list, list of games, of stuff I wanted to play for my second channel and for my Patreons. But every time I make a plan, something comes up and I can't go through with the plan I previously had. I'm not complaining, by the way, just explaining why my second channel has been so silent. I have a full list of games I want to play eventually. When eventually, I don't know. Messi or Ronaldo? I know you're Portuguese, but be honest. Why do I think this is the most controversial question I was asked? For anyone who does not know who these people are, These are football players, considered, I think, until maybe some years ago, the two best players in the world. Messi is Argentinian, Cristiano Ronaldo is Portuguese, I am Portuguese. My relationship with football is kind of sporadic. I enjoy watching it with friends. I grew up watching football with friends and sometimes with family. I always follow the World Cup and the Euro Cup. I watch almost all the games. However, beyond that, if no one is watching them, I'm not watching them. I don't pay attention to the players and their lives. However, Cristiano Ronaldo's life has been bombarded in my face in Portuguese media, obviously, because he's Portuguese and I grew up in Portugal. So as a person, I cannot compare both because I don't know anything about Messi, and I know maybe more about Cristiano Ronaldo than I actually need to. As a player, I have a soft spot for Cristiano Ronaldo simply because he is Portuguese. Yes, my Portugueseness does not allow me to say otherwise. However, I can admit that Messi has characteristics as a player that I appreciate, that I think he's better at than Cristiano. He's more of a team player overall. I think Cristiano Ronaldo back in his days, he was really good in creating good opportunities for other players as well. But in general, whenever I see both playing, especially now, I think Messi remains the better team player. What are your favorite Aussie animals? You know what? I love the blue ring octopus. That's a marine animal. I also love the koalas, of course, and the wombats. They are super cute. Corals, we've got gorgonians, kelp, seagrasses, and corals. A full representation of the 3 types of marine forests. Do you think you'll play Subnautica 3 when it comes out? I hope so. I will try to make time for it because it is a game that is very close to my heart because it brought a lot of you to me. And it's a super fun game that I look back with fondness that took me through COVID times. And I hope to find time to play it when it comes out. So we have answered a million questions. No, we haven't. It just felt like it because I'm so bad at multitasking that anything more. Yeah, would you look at that? We made it. We got some divers. We got the scientist here doing some science, the super cute turtle. We got this submarine. Is it an ROV? I think it's supposed to be a remotely operated vehicle because there's no space for a person. So we got the ROV chilling. Yo, we got the whole scientific team here. Behold my creation. Anyways, this ends the building of the Lego and the Q&A. I did manage to answer all the questions I was asked, but I think I managed to get to almost all of them. Thank you everyone who sent me anything, who was asked me something. If you are one of the 3 people still watching, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you everyone very much for watching. Thank you to all my Patreons on Patreon for supporting the channel and what I do. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great time.